This is BEG News, the headlines at 6 o'clock. A bitterly split UK government would rather spare the country from strike action. Also on the programme, ENSTA's electoral campaigns are at their peak. Our representatives have begun the battle for our votes. Next in our broadcast, the success of the gala is making today's headlines in all the media. Thrilling local stories are also coming up in the program. Sports also in the news. Federer still reigns as the king of tennis, and the NBA is starting up again at last. After sports, culture, and a special report on cultivating cannabis at ENSTA.
Hello and welcome to BEG 6 o'clock news with me, Remy. TV channels in Britain are used to showing France as a country of riots and demonstrations. But for once, we can return them a favor. Guillaume and David in London reporting for us.
Civil servants went out onto the streets to protest against the government's austerity plan, especially the pension reform and the massive layoffs. Surprisingly this time, all the civil service from the top to the bottom is supporting the strike action. For the very first time in 115 years, even the school directors are going on strike. Although it has triggered huge protests from the civil service, the reform has been better received by private sector employees as they consider civil servants as privileged people.
Indeed, the private sector has to rely on pension funds, some of which have lately gone bankrupt. This may be why the opposition Labour Party does not support the strikers. And, well, another revolutionary piece of news: Tunisian students from ENET recently came to France to participate in the world-famous ENSTA Gala. Let's hope that the encounter of young people from old and young democracies will bring some historic improvements to the art of organizing parties. This was David and Guillaume for BEG News.
At ENSTA, future body members are trying creatively to get votes, while fake lists are livening things up in the school. But what's behind the scene? Mahmoud and Amandine, live from ENSTA, are investigating for us.
The question everybody's asking is, who's going to be elected to be the chief of the BDS Sport Office today? People will have to choose between the incredibly dynamic orange team Les Survitaminés and the incredibly powerful blue team Sportacus. Free pancakes, laser game, huge parties and even classroom breakfast are being organized in order to get more supporters. Obviously, the choice for every ENSTA Paristech student won't be that easy. Who are you going to vote for?
Well, it's a secret, I can tell you.
Oh, come on!
Sorry, but it's French democracy, you know. I can tell for who I want to vote.
Sportacus. I don't know. They're both amazing. It's very hard to choose.
The event of the month now, the gala, organized by ENSTA students, that took place the 26th of November in the Palais Royal. All the latest figures with Yael and Gaspard.
On Saturday, the 26th of November, an amazing party took place in the Pavillon Royal in Paris. Indeed, ENSTA Paristech, a prestigious French grande école, was organizing its own gala to follow the graduation ceremony. The place is really posh, so everyone was dolled up for the event, from the students to the graduates, their families and the school administration. The party featured several shows, concerts and activities. It started with a theatrical improvisation, followed by a cabaret-style show performed by the Crazy Kids Girl.
For the whole night, the party will school dance to various kinds of music in the different rooms. But if you weren't in the mood for dancing, you could also retire into the poker room where you could win drink tickets.
But the cherry on the cake was the fashion show where you could admire the beautiful dresses made and worn by the even more beautiful ENSTA girls.
The party lasted until 5 o'clock in the morning and was a real success thanks to all the work made by the organizers. It was Yael and Gaspard for BEG News.
Guess the boom will be as big a success. Let's now talk about a grandma you maybe have heard of. She died tragically just the other day, but that's not the point of her story. Explanation with Thibaut, Loic and Arnaud.
A terrible tragedy has taken place in Boulevard Victor. This day, an old lady who was about to turn 100 got hit by a car when she was crossing the street in a wheelchair. But what really happened? Actually, one of her wheels broke, and so she could not reach the opposite pavement. And despite the shouts of the people all around, a reckless driver of a Fiat Panda could not avoid knocking over. Poor mistake.
Everything happened really fast. The old lady went flying up into the air in the direction of the DGA, the French military complex. The old lady appeared on the screens of a radar operator who took her for a UFO. The exocet missile destroyed Mistake, who completely exploded. She was reduced to ashes.
But what is really unbelievable, that one of her fingers dropped into a baby boy's hands. The baby was being pushed along in a prime by his mother, and he began to chew the dead lady's finger. And the most really unbelievable thing in all this story is that the baby was convicted of cannibalism and sentenced to life in prison. Once again, the French justice system has done a great job. Arnaud de l'Arturière, Thibaut Gourlet and Loïc Mazas for ENSTA News.
Sports latest results now, with both the victory of Federer at London's Masters tournament and some really good news for NBA fans. All the details with G and Sammy.
At last, basketball fans are rejoicing. NBA players and owners have just agreed to end the lockout that had resulted in the cancellation of more than a month of the regular season. However, could the NBA players now be risking serious injury? Some medical specialists think so. With far less time than usual to prepare the match fitness, some doctors predict that the players could suffer from more injuries than normal in this strike-shortened season. Timothy Hewitt, Director of Research at the Ohio State University Medical Center, claims that a couple of weeks of preseason is probably not enough time to get ready for the season. Then again, some foreign players have been taking the right decision, like Tony Parker, Joakim Noah or Boris Dio, by going back to the home country to avoid the strike.
Federer, the real master. The great champion came to London determined to end the frustrating year on a high. After Basel and Paris-Bercy, Roger Federer has won a 6th ATP title over the Frenchman Jo-Wilfried Tsonga with a score of 6-3, 6-7, 6-3. The 30 years old has now won 70 titles in his amazing career and has taken part in 100 finals. Whereas Djokovic and Nadal didn't make it through the semi-finals, Federer didn't drop one game during the week. The 16th Grand Slam winner has reeled off a 17-match winning streak since the US Open. Many were claiming before the match that his career was totally finished. By winning today, he has proven his critics wrong.
Culture now, but not in the sense you may imagine. Cannabis is still as popular as you may think, even in universities. Our special reporters, Paul and Felix, are live from ENSTA with two specialists.
A new kind of culture is spreading, the marijuana culture. Indeed, there is an increasing number of marijuana growers who have become very rich. We asked our economic expert, Dr. S, who wanted to remain anonymous, to explain us how such a powerful economy works.
As you can see right here, grown-ups sell marijuana to drug addicts, therefore they get money, therefore they get rich.
No. The very source of growers' wealth are people called drug addicts. Our investigation has led us to meet one of the drug addicts, Mr. S, who demanded that he should be completely unrecognizable.
First, sometimes, then a little bit more, then family gone. But, well, I don't need them. It's okay.
It's now obvious, isn't it? If you want to deal with drugs, be a winner rather than an addict. That was Felix and Paul for BEG News.
Even if it's now possible, don't ask your iPhone what you should wear tomorrow. Just listen to Pauline and the weather forecast. And though it's rainy outside, it will be sunny for you, deep down inside.
Good evening, everyone. Let's see what the sky is going to be like during this week. Monday and Tuesday, it will probably rain cats and dogs, thanks to the Aristocats campaign. But don't worry, it won't last long. The sun will be back in Paris on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. However, it still be raining in Massy Palaiseau. But that won't be such a pity, as rain is very precious for fields and cows. This weekend, we'll probably have some snow, which is really good news, in the lead up to Christmas and the ski weekend. So enjoy it, everyone! That was Pauline for the weather on BEG News.
And that's all from BEG's newsroom. A very good evening to you.